Good evening and welcome to this meeting on with Fairfax County Department of Transportation to discuss the June 2024 service changes for Fairfax Connector. My name is Robin Geiger and I am with the Marketing and Communications team with FCDOT, and we're thrilled to be here to talk with you a little bit about some of the upcoming changes to some routes in the Fairfax Connector service throughout the county. So we want to invite you to stay tuned. We're going to give you the presentation and then we will have a time of questions and answers. This meeting is being recorded and will be posted on our website at fairfaxconnector.com. So you can look at it again or share the information if someone had missed it and might want to see it. So thanks again. And right now I'll turn it over to Kyle Davis, who is our senior transit planner with Fairfax Connector. Kyle?
Hey, Kyle, you're on mute.
You're on mute, yeah.
Oh, whoops. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Robin. My name is Kyle Davis. I'm a transportation planner with Fairfax County Department of Transportation, as Robin said, and I will be delivering tonight's presentation. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. This is just a brief overview of what we'll be covering tonight. So we'll start off with a brief introduction along with a presentation of the timeline, overview, route profiles, and then we'll open up space for Q&A. The June 2024 service changes focus on several routes in different portions of the county: routes 335, 371, 598, 494, and 558. These routes cover both the northern and southern portions of the county. So we're covering different portions of the county with these service changes. Timeline. So starting in late 2022, early 2023, we engaged in service analysis and route development. That led into the development of plans, which is what we are presenting tonight. This is the public input process that's happening in the fall of 2023 right now. Based on the input that we received from this round of public engagement, we will make any necessary adjustments to our service, which we are calling service refinement here, that's going to be taking place over the course of the winter. We anticipate that we'll be going before the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors early spring. And then in June, we're planning on implementing the service if all goes according to plan. So that's a brief timeline of how we got here. This is an overview of the routes themselves and what will be changing. So starting with Route 335, this is a route realignment due to changes in and around Fort Belvoir, particularly with access to the gates. The frequency is going to remain the same. You're going to get 20 to 35 minute service during the peak hours only. Route 371, so essentially 371, 372, and 373 are going to be one combined service change. What will happen is that Route 372 and 373 will be discontinued, but they will be merged into Route 371. And the new Route 371 is going to have improved frequency over what exists today. So today on Route 371, you've got service every 20 minutes during the peak, every 30 minutes during the peak on 372 and 373. What that would translate into post-service change would be service every 15 minutes. And then during the off-peak, service would go from every 35 minutes currently to every 15 to 30 minutes after the service change. With Route 494, this would be a route realignment to serve the new Springfield CBC garage. It would also have improved frequency to serve the improved frequency between Franconia and Tysons. Service would go from every 25 minutes currently to every 15 minutes after the service change. During the off-peak or non-rush hour times, service would go from every 120 minutes to every 60 minutes. Route 558 would be split into two routes. So currently, Route 558 has essentially a northern portion and a southern portion. We would be creating a new route called the 559 that would cover that southern portion. And we're doing this in order to improve reliability. So the frequency of the route would remain the same, but we essentially be splitting up the route. And then finally, we're at Route 598, which would be a new express route, which would serve Reston to the Pentagon, and it would serve the Reston South and Reston North park and rides. This service here would operate every 15 to 25 minutes during the rush hour. So that we're going to move into the route profile section. Ed Reed is going to take over from here.
We can start with our first slide, please. We'll look at the 335 to start off with. That's the one between Franconia Springfield Metro Station and Fort Belvoir. And the only change that we've got really is that we've had to do a detour away from Bayless Street to go via the Franconia Springfield, well, Fairfax County Parkway, sorry. So we had to reroute the route. That's already taken effect. That's a detour. The frequency remains the same, as Kyle said earlier, 20 to 35 minutes. The hours of service remain the same within a few minutes because it takes a few minutes longer to get around. So there's no real change to the service. Still runs Monday to Friday, just at rush hours. We are also going to have some, at the moment, we have a few minor detours because of further gate closures. Those aren't shown on the map just now, and they may be temporary, but just to warn, to let everybody know that only three trips are going to have additional detours. They're not reflected on this map yet, but all the main portion of the route inside the base is continuing to be served. Thank you. Next slide. 371, as Kyle said, is going to come in as an all-day route, 7 days a week service. It's going to replace the current 372 and 372, which only run at rush hours. That's going to have improved frequency as well. During rush hours and all day, during the middle of the day, it's going to run every 15 minutes as opposed to the every, like I said, a irregular service at peak times, 2 times every 20 to 30 minutes. So it's not regular, but it's going to be regular every 15 minutes on a consistent route. And then in the middle of the day, it's every 15 minutes as opposed to every 35 minutes at the moment. On weekends, it's going to have an improvement every 30 minutes. It's from 30 to 45, 30 to 45, 30 minutes during the day, as opposed to, worse frequency at the moment. And then on Sunday, it's every 45 minutes. And again, it's early morning till late in the evening, 7 days a week, a consistent route and improved frequency over the current provision. Next slide. Route 484 is going to operate between Franconia Springfield Metro Station and VRE station. That's a Tyson's Metro Station, and then a little limited loop around Tyson's. So this is going to run every 15 minutes at rush hours and every hour the rest of the day during the middle of the day. And that's a big improvement over what they have at the moment. At the moment, it's every 25 minutes at rush hours and up to every 2 hours at non-rush hours. And it'll be connections if you need to go to Lorton or anywhere to the south to the Rolling Road area. There's going to be a direct connection. In fact, we're going to try to get a one-seat ride so people won't have to change buses to Route 371. So it'll be direct connection to the 371 at the Franconia Springfield Metro. So anybody going to point south of Franconia Springfield is going to have a direct connection with the 371. Next slide. Route 558 is going to be split up into 2 routes. The 558 now goes between Center Harbor, Wheelie, Reston East, and Reston Town Center. So the section between Center Harbor and Wheelie, Reston East Metro Station will be the new 558. It will have the exact same level of service as the current 558. So early morning till the middle of the evening. So that's 7 days a week. At rush hour, it will run every 20 minutes, and during the middle of the day and early evenings, it'll run every hour. And then on weekends, it's going to be every hour as well. And again, it'll have a direct connection with the replacement route for the 558 between Wheelie, Reston East, and Reston Town Center. And that's going to be Route 559, which we'll see in the next slide. The section of Route 558 between Wheelie, Reston East Metro, and Reston Town Center will become the new 559. It'll have almost the same level of service, or pretty much the exact same level of service as the current 559, except that the end of the line at Reston The Metro station Wheatley Reston East will be slightly earlier because we adjusted the running time slightly based on our data. So that's the only change what people have at the moment. Again, it's going to operate early morning till mid-evening, 7 days a week. At rush hour, it's every 20 minutes. And during the middle of the day and early evening, it's every hour. And on weekends, it's every hour. Next slide. Route 598 is a new route, brand new route meant for commuters. It's going to operate between the Rest and South Park and Ride, which has free parking, to the Pentagon Metro Station, onto Pentagon City, and then to Crystal City, where the route terminates, and then reverse coming back in the evening. It's also going to run by the Rest and North Park and Ride, supplementing the current 599. This is going to operate between every 15 at 25 minutes during the rush hours. There won't be any service in the middle of the day. But one thing about this route is it will have the standard express fare of $4.25 for this new route. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. We'll move on to the next section here. Title VI. So we performed an evaluation, Title VI analysis, and it was determined that we found a disparate impact on 3 routes. However, we have ways that we will mitigate this. So with the 372 and 373, those 2 routes are being merged into Route 371, and they're going to be replaced with improved service. You're going to have better service than what you have now on the 372 and 373. And on Route 559, this is going to continue to serve the eliminated portion of Route 558. So we are able to mitigate any sort of effects that we identified in our Title VI analysis. So our next steps, as we said before, we're conducting the final public meetings here. The final changes and service refinements will take place over the next couple of months. We'll be presenting to the Board of Supervisors sometime early next year, with service implementation slated for June of 2024. Robin, if you'll just take it away from here.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Kyle. So we are wanting to hear from you, and we're wanting to give you some ways to provide feedback. Really, the best way to provide feedback is through an online survey, which will give you information kind of replicating what you saw here tonight with the route profiles. And you can find that online survey at fairfaxconnector.com. And it's right there. And there's a red button, and you can just click on that link, and it will take you to the survey. This presentation that you've seen and heard tonight will also be posted there. And the survey closes on December 1st. And then we also invite you to provide comments through email, and you can do that at fairfaxconnector@fairfaxconnector.com. You can just send your comments through the regular mail at Fairfax County Department of Transportation. Attention, Fairfax Connector at 4050 Legato Road, Fairfax, Virginia 22033. And you can always call us. You can call us, the customer service number, and share your comments. And that's at 703-339-7200 or TTY 703-339-1608. So those are the ways that you can actually provide feedback on each route. But right now, we want to open it up for questions or comments if you'd like to provide some. And so if you would like to ask a question, you raise your hand, and the raise your hand icon is at the top. You can see raise. You can raise your hand and then unmute yourself, and we'll enable your microphone and we'll call on you. If you are calling in by phone, I see we do have a phone caller. You would press *5 to raise your hand on your phone, and then *6 to unmute. So if you do have any questions, we'd love to hear them or comments, and our team is standing by to answer those for you. And if we don't have any questions, that's absolutely fine because, maybe you don't have a question and that is fine, but we certainly would love to have you take the survey and share the information with friends and people who ride Fairfax Connector. We'll be having another meeting on Thursday evening at 7 o'clock, and you can also find information about that at fairfaxconnector.com. So, with that, once again, this presentation and recording will be posted on the website, so you can take a look at it again and dig down a little bit into the routes, and also take the survey to provide your comments. I don't think we have any questions, so with that, I think we can wrap up. Kyle?
Thank you, Robin.
Sure. Thank you all for attending, and please visit the website and participate in the survey. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Have a good evening.
Mm.